Tonight on YCN News, Bernie Sanders garners more campaign support as he offers enhanced Medicare. Road and bridge repair in the Twin States gets a much-needed financial boost. And the long-awaited next part in our signature golf hole series is here. We head to the Claremont Golf Club's 6th hole. For more news, weather, and sports, stay tuned for YCN News, bringing you your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, July 30th. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kurt Weedy, and welcome to YCN News. Well, it's good news today for the New Hampshire communities who will be financially affected with the closure of the nuclear power plant Vermont Yankee. Now that's because the parent company of Vermont Yankee will provide a $350,000 grant that will benefit 5 towns in southwestern New Hampshire. About 200 New Hampshire residents were employed by Vermont Yankee, according to a legislative spokeswoman. Monadnock Economic Development Corporation applied for the grant from the Entergy Charitable Foundation, which made the presentation to the Monadnock Agency today in Keene, New Hampshire. Now, this grant dovetails with a similar economic development program in the Vermont towns where Vermont Yankee workers lived and shopped. The agreement between Entergy and Vermont state officials is much higher, at $10 million for community redevelopment. It's no secret that some roads and bridges need much-needed repair in both New Hampshire and Vermont. Highway projects in general across the nation, and by extension our region, may get a new lease on life. The U.S. Senate voted today to approve ongoing federal transportation funding through the rest of the summer construction season. Now that vote is about $8 billion in money for these road projects. The vote did come in the nick of time. Money to continue these projects was due to run out just tomorrow. Now, aside from summer road projects, an event scheduled for next week at farms all across Vermont may be something you'll want to check out. This event is set for August 3rd through the 9th. Now, its goal is to introduce the public to the working agricultural landscape of Vermont. Experience the authentic taste of the Green Mountain State. The website is chock full of information to help you plan your trip. For more information, go online to diginvt.com. Well, if going on a political tour is more your style, one of the many candidates seeking a party nomination for the 2016 presidential race will be in Claremont this Sunday. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will hold a town meeting at 5 p.m. at the Common Man restaurant. Well, coming up after the break on YCN News, we'll continue our Bernie Sanders news as he offers insight and a new option for Medicaid. We'll have that story after the break.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News, everyone. Thank you for staying with us on this Thursday evening. I'm Kurt Weedy. Bernie Sanders continues to campaign and fulfill his duties as a U.S. Senator. Now today, that work came in the form of a statement by Sanders about Medicare. This year, 2015 of course, marks the 50th anniversary of Medicare, the federal medical insurance program for the nation's seniors. Now, while Vermont Governor Peter Shumlin couldn't make a single-payer health insurance program fly in the United States, Sanders wants to do something along those lines. He does propose a Medicare for All insurance. Speaking at a rally held by labor group National Nurses United, Sanders says Medicare as part of a single-payer national health care program needs to be enacted. The benefits would be enormous to people's lives, he says. Sanders told rallygoers that he will introduce in the Senate this legislation very soon. His plan would set federal guidelines and strong minimum standards for states to administer single-payer health care programs. America is the only major nation in the industrialized world that does not guarantee health care as a right to its people, Sanders said today. But, he added, the country spends more per capita on health care with worse results than other countries around the world. If you haven't been to Moody Park for a while, or ever, this may be the time to go. Claremont Parks and Recreation Director Mark Brislin tells the Eagle Times newspaper that Phase 1 of the park's renovations are complete. existing trails have been upgraded and new trails have been added. The next step, or phase 2 if you will, is to improve the trail map and add signage and trail markers. Moody Park is open to the public at no charge and is located off Maple Street, in Claremont. In international news, a piece of an aircraft has washed up on Reunion Island, which is a French territory in the western Indian Ocean off the coast of Madagascar. Now, experts are saying that it may be from Malaysian Flight 370 that went missing over 1 year ago. The piece of the plane, which appears to be from a wing, was discovered washed up on the shore of the island and seems to be from a Boeing 777, the same type of plane as MH370. Now, another potential clue, a piece of shredded luggage, was discovered today near where the wing piece washed ashore. MH370 disappeared on March 8th of 2014, and after an extensive international search, no clues as to its whereabouts were discovered. Now, this new discovery yesterday and today may revitalize search efforts and give searchers a more focused area to look for the missing aircraft. If found, the discovery would bring much-needed closure to the families of loved ones. And turning back to local news, here's another story to be followed closely. That's how Vermont school districts will enact Act 46. The law signed this year by Governor Peter Shumlin aims to control school spending by combining small districts together and offering financial incentives to do so. A goal of a school district, which is kindergarten through grade 12, is to be 900 students. But Vermont American Civil Liberties Union Executive Director Alan Gilbert says, well, this may not be constitutional. The act also includes a spending cap of what a district can spend, which Gilbert is most concerned with. That according to the online news Vermont Digger. Vermont has 277 school boards, one of the highest of any American state. The state population in Vermont is about 626,000. Well, after the break on YCN News, we'll hear from Tad Nunez of the Hartford Parks and Recreation Department on River Valley Chronicle. That's coming up, so stay with us.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it was officially a heat wave in Claremont anyways, with 3 straight days at 90 degrees or warmer. But thankfully it looks like things will be cooling down at least a little. Any passing thunderstorms should wrap up by about 8 p.m., leaving us much more comfortable conditions with a low of 60 degrees. Things will warm right back up into the lower 80s tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, but lower humidity levels should have us feeling a lot more or less sticky out there. Skies will remain clear tomorrow evening with a low of around 61, before another mostly sunny day Saturday with a high of 81 during the day and a low of around 61 Saturday evening. Now let's take a look at our community calendar to see what's happening in the area. Both Newport, New Hampshire and Bellows Falls, Vermont will host their weekly farmers markets tomorrow, with Newport's taking place on the town commons from 3 to 6 p.m. and Bellows Falls happening right downtown on Canal Street from 4 to 7 p.m. Both markets will be held rain or shine. The Claremont Police Association is hosting a night of comedy tomorrow beginning at 8 p.m. at the Claremont Opera House. The cost is $10 per person and tickets are available at ClaremontOperaHouse.org. Friday Night Bingo at KJ's Place on River Street in North Springfield, Vermont will be held tomorrow with games beginning at 6:30 p.m. Cost is $15 per package and doors open at 5. Well, for the 4th segment in our multi-part series highlighting the signature hole on local golf courses, we headed over to Claremont Country Club right down the street to play their scenic par 3 6th hole. Let's see how it went. We're here at Claremont Country Club right off Maple Avenue in Claremont, New Hampshire, and I'm joined by Andrew Fowler, who's the superintendent on this course and had a hand in designing this 6th hole par 3. So Andrew, what went into the thought process and kind of how you guys designed this hole?
Well, we tried to stick with some of the, native surroundings, and, most of our greens are the old style greens, the circular greens. So we didn't want to get anything too crazy, a big star-shaped green or anything. So we tried to stick with what was normal and what fit this golf course.
Yep. And I'm sure that intimidating pond out there has probably collected its share of golf balls.
Yeah, there's probably thousands of golf balls in there right now. No one's been in to clean it out in several years, so it's pretty full. In fact, if you go down there, you'll be able to see plenty of golf balls in there.
Well, let's give the hole a try, and hopefully we don't add to that collection.
Sounds good.
Andrew took to the tee first with his 5-iron and utilized a nice soft swing to clear the water in an effort that left him just off the front of the green in the second cut. I took aim next on the 163-yard hole and ended up hooking my 6-iron over the water but well left of the green after a somewhat lengthy roll. The ball was sitting up pretty nicely despite landing in the rough, so I was able to chip my way up onto the sloping green, and though my ball initially landed well left of the hole, the green's contour rolled it back to the right and eventually just beyond the pin. Andrew was up next with a short chip up onto the putting surface, and the course's superintendent executed the shot perfectly, leaving him a short 3-foot putt for par. I lined up my par bid first, being slightly outside his ball, and rolled it in for a satisfying 3 despite a disappointing tee shot. And Andrew had no trouble cleaning up his par putt either, as he rolled his ball right into the center of the cup with ease.
Well, thanks a lot for having us, Andrew. That was a lot of fun, and that second shot there, you can see the contours of the screen and how you can shape a lot of shots, so that was a great time.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you out here, Mike, and anytime you want to come back, come on out and play.
And I absolutely plan on taking him up on that to see what the course's other 8 holes have to offer at this beautiful 9-hole country club. And on the baseball field, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats took care of business against the Harrisburg Senators last night, earning a 6-1 victory to put the finishing touches on a 3-game sweep. The Cats will try and win their 4th straight tonight at 7 when they welcome Reading to town. That's been your look at local sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. Well, we've got the final part of this week's Capital Connections, where we wrap up our discussion with New Hampshire Senator David Pierce in the final part of that interview. That's coming up, so stay with us.
The YCN News continues in a moment.